major rally on Wall Street. The Dow surging more than 1,000 points today, its biggest point gain in history. So how did the wild market swings play out in 2020? Well, let's bring in our political panel today. We have Robin Biro, former field director for the Obama campaign, and Madison Gesiotto, a member of the Trump 2020 Advisory Board. Guys, let's start with the markets because, wow, what a emphatic return for the Dow, 1,000-point gain. As you know, in the markets, we say when you own the ups, you also own the downs. But with this 1,000-point gain, do you think this helps, I guess, Trump's case, Madison?
Absolutely. I mean, this on top of so many of the other positive economic news that we've seen over the past year, and I suppose that we will continue to see over the next 2 years. I think it's going to be a great election for President Trump in 2020. Of course, combine this with many of his other accomplishments. But when we look at the economy specifically, we look at the jobs, we look at the rising wages, we look at the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. And of course, we're looking at potentially a round 2 of that coming up in 2019.
Well, up until today, it wasn't looking great on the markets for 2018. In fact, we're still on track, barring a 5% rally in the last few trading sessions here in 2018. We're looking at the first down year for the markets since 2008. Robin, how do you think this plays in just a few years' time?
It confuses things for Democrats quite a bit. It was looking good for us up until today, obviously. But hey, I never bet against the USA. I am thrilled that the markets are on the upswing. What we need to pay careful watch to, though, is the reverse mortgage market, because that was just bailed out by the FDIC. And that's something that could seriously affect the economy going forward for the next couple of years.
Yep. And also central bank policy, Madison, which we know President Trump, he is not happy about the central bank and Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell. Just from your sense, is it wise for the White House and the president, the sitting president, to be dictating central bank policy, which is supposed to be independent, by the way, of the executive branch?
You know, I think some people are concerned about this, as you're saying, but I think a lot of people do support what the president's saying here. And I think Robert makes a very good point, talking about the fact that, you know, it's never good to bet against the USA and to bet against, you know, some Democrats are saying, oh, well, we want the economy to be down because that's good for us in the elections. And I think as Americans, we should all want the economy to be up. We should want things to be on the upswing and for people to be doing well in this country. And so that's something I think we need to bring attention to, whether you're a Republican, a Democrat, an independent, a Trump supporter or not a Trump supporter. We want things to go well because that benefits all of us.
Robin, what do you think?
Oh, most definitely. You know, nobody wants to suffer in this market, and that should not be a partisan thing. We should all want what's best for our economy. Democrats have to make this strong case going into 2020 that we have what it takes to protect the gains that we've already had and that we can do better. So it's going to be tough with a crowded field of maybe 40 candidates to see who can best deliver that message,
right.
Susan.
But the Obama administration, Obama himself, did not criticize the Federal Reserve Chairman or chairwoman.
That's correct. Yeah, he was very clear to steer away from that. But hey, Trump is a different ballgame, and he is his own animal. Every day is a new mystery with this president.
Okay, well, let's get to some breaking news. And President Trump doubling down on his fight for the border wall while visiting troops overseas in Iraq, answering questions from reporters on how long the shutdown will last. The president saying, quote, whatever it takes, we need a wall. We need safety for our country. Even from this standpoint, we have terrorists coming in through the southern border. And Robin, you know, it looks like this is the sticking point when it comes to getting some sort of budget deal through. What do you think? Do we need this wall?
It's tough, you know, and consider for the fact that I'm a veteran, so I'm all about physical security. I personally am not opposed to a wall because in 2006 we bipartisanly supported the Secure Fence Act. So I see it as disingenuous when I hear Democrats coming out so strongly against it. But I think that we're smart to renovate existing sections of fencing, like President Trump just tweeted out today. And I think that we need to look at more prudent financial ways of getting this accomplished. And I think that we'll get there, Susan.
Yeah, well, who do you think owns the shutdown, Madison?
You know, I don't think there will be much ultimate political fallout from this shutdown. Number one, people across this country are very supportive of the president when it comes to building the wall, specifically among, of course, his own supporters. That's something they elected him on. And when we look at the midterm elections, the second biggest issue for all voters was immigration. Yeah. And among the people who said that immigration was the first biggest issue, they voted for Republicans 3-1 margin. You even look back at the 1980s, there was a government shutdown in 81, 84. Ronald Reagan still won in a landslide in 84. So I don't think that President Trump or the Republicans Republicans will lose as a result of this political shutdown. I don't think necessarily they're going to gain either. I think it'll be, just even out when it comes to gaining or losing support on this.
All right. Robin, Madison, always a pleasure. Thank you so much.